Hi, I'm Tim Roble, and welcome to another episode of Adventure Athlete. Today I'm on top of Mount Rubidoux, and I'm ready to do my almost 500-mile review on the I Must Fatbike. This bike is carbon and full suspension. I received a frame and no shock or nothing else, just basically a bare frame. So to build that up, if you've watched part one, I used a RockShox Monarch, and there will be a link in the description that will get you the right shock that I ordered for this bike. And I put a dropper seat post on it so I could adjust it. So it's been about a month now that I've been riding this bike. So what are my initial thoughts of it? Have I had any problems? So the only problem that I have encountered has been down here on the linkage. Basically this linkage right here started working its way loose. Simple fix, just put some blue Loctite on it and tighten it back down. Hasn't been a problem since. Another little issue, little quirk that I've noticed with this bike is the seat post tube and the seat post slip here. You gotta really tighten it down pretty good. I didn't feel great about that, so what I did is I just took a piece of sandpaper and I put the gritty side towards the aluminum, and that shimmed everything up a little bit. And I did a strip about maybe 3-4 inches long, 220 grit, so nothing crazy, and that solved that problem of the seat post working down on it. For those of you that don't know, I built this bike basically using all of the parts of the Diamondback El Orso, and so it's got the RockShox Bluto on it. God, I can't say enough about the fork. The fork is great. Only 120 millimeters of travel. I kind of think the perfect range of travel on a mountain bike is 150, 160-ish. But being that this is a fat bike, it works super good. A lot of you guys use a fat bike for the snow and crappy muddy conditions. For myself, I bought this bike to basically do the Mojave Trail. And in doing that, all I've done is trained in rock, sand, bike trail, and like you see right now, we're up here on Mount Rubidoux. Thoughts on the fat bike, kind of making you a better cyclist. I've ridden nothing but this other than 2 rides now. I got my high bike back. What do I think about a fat bike and making you a better cyclist? Holy smokes, for sure it does. On the flat ground with 15 psi in the tires, I'm pedaling about 14 to 15 miles an hour. Sometimes a pack of road bikes will go by me on the Santa Ana River Trail, and I'll jump in with them. They're usually running somewhere between 18 and 22 miles an hour, so if I can jump in and get into the draft, usually I can hang with them for about 5 or 6 miles till my heart rate starts going through the roof. But why do I ride a fat bike? One is because it gives you the ability to ride just about any terrain or any weather conditions possible. So it's kind of like a one bike that can go do it all. Longest ride on it right now has been 41 miles. And that's a long time in the saddle. It's about 3.5-4 hours. And yeah, it wears on you a little bit. For the tires, I am running the Maxxis Minions, and I do have the Mr. Tuffy. I think they're a 4.5 inch or 4 inch tire liner in them. And then I'm running in the tubes. They're a super lightweight tube, but I'm running 4 ounces of orange tire sealant. So right now, this setup, I've had 0 flats, and it's worked out super good. I'm super impressed with the bike. As far as it being a carbon bicycle, this is my first carbon bike that I've got, and you can kind of see I have not washed it in the let's see exactly what I have on this. 467.81 miles. I'll be somewhere close to 480 when I get home. This ride's usually about 35.9 miles or so, and I'm a little bit closer to halfway through it. But talking about the carbon frame set, so I believe you're able to do things out of carbon that you're not really seeing in an aluminum bike. Now, some of our new aluminum bikes are really tricked and they're hydroformed. But what we have down here is, look at this bottom bracket area. It's super thick and stout. And I'm super impressed with how stiff this bicycle is. Take your foot and push on it, and it's, for a full suspension bike, that is stiff. I wish they would have put a little bit more stiffness up here in the seat stays, because that's kind of where I broke my high bike, and I'm a little worried about that now. But they did do good clearance here on the fork, so the fork's able to go full lock. Talking about the fork, I did have to replace the lower race that came out of the El Orso and put a sealed bearing, a tapered stack in it. That wasn't really a big deal. I think that was about $50 at my local bike shop. Don's Bikes took care of it. The disc brakes that came on the El Orso are the Shimano LSX, as well as the shifters. So what do I think about these brakes? Well, I'll tell you, in the beginning, I thought they sucked. For me, my test on a brake is if I can sit on the rear seat and use one finger on the lever and pull it, and if I can lock up that rear tire, that's good enough gription or traction on the brake pad on the disc for me to say, hey, that's great brakes. I'll use that off-road. I trust it. These weren't really there. So a couple trips up to the top here of Mount Rubidoux and kind of took a quick look. We go all the way up to the top here. And then on the downside, you really heat up a disc brake. I got some burning in my disc brakes on my high bike the last couple of days. I got some discoloration because of how hot they actually got. At one point in time, I had a disc touch my skin on just a short ride and left a really nice brand mark on me for a while. So the brakes do get hot. But even after burning them in, they weren't spectacular. So what I did is basically you remove these two bolts and this pin, and you pull the disc out from the bottom, and you put those in on up on a bench and use a propane torch, heat them up, take a little sandpaper, rough them up, and put them back in, and they are smoking hot brakes now. Super good control. And now I can lock up the rear tire no problem. And then on the way down here at every stoplight, if it's red, I'll do a stoppie, and they're really good. As far as the geometry of this bike, I love it. Now, am I going to put packs on it? Because this bike is primarily for my bike packing trips. Am I going to put packs? No, I'll probably put a few soft bags, like my little bar bag up here again. But I think what I'm going to do is make a lightweight single trailer that has a 20-inch Fatbike wheel on it, and that should really do it. So that's my plans right now. I have to say, I got to give this bike, I'm going to give it a 9.8 out of 10, and that is high for me. Super impressed with how stiff the bike is, how well it stayed together. I know it's only a month old and 500 miles, or just shy of 500 miles on it, but I would buy this bike again, and I'm super impressed with it. I'm going to put down the tripod right now, and I'll take it and just kind of do a quick, get this balanced up, a quick little ride. Hopefully I'll be in focus here and everything, and kind of show you. I'm 235-ish pounds. I carry a 32-pound backpack with everything that I need for a full 3 days, in case I just decide to do an adventure. But riding the bike, if you stop and balance on it, super stiff, predictable. Anyway, my thoughts on all of this is, if I had to do it again, definitely I don't know of anything else on the market that is actually like this, and it's super predictable, and I really have to say I like it. So that's it for now. I'm Tim Roble on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Strava. So if you like this kind of thing, hit me up on any of those venues. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you here next time.